All right, guys, welcome to the Team Victory All-Star Sunday night party. First of all, make sure and make it till the end so that we can get a screenshot, because you know what? That's the best part about this. No, it's not the best part about the call, but you know, it's the most fun at the end. Screenshot, and you got to turn your video cameras on for it. We don't want your phone number on there. It is March 1st, and this is a perfect topic call for March 1st. I'm going to give you one little call to action that I thought of in the shower today, because I wanted to start doing this on these team calls because I had picked this up from another top coach that I had was lucky enough to be a guest speaker on, and I love this idea of coming up with, you know, one call to action when you leave this call, besides for the content on the call. So this hit me a lot of the times, and then this hit me when, I don't know if you guys had seen this YouTube video that I had recently posted in the team page from this coach who hit diamond in 68 days. Well, I actually finally watched it this morning. It was so highly recommended on the wall that I knew it was great content, but I finally watched it this morning in the car. It was so good. And here's what I came away from it with. This girl was so passionate about what we have, but she talked about her acne and how her skin was cleared up, and she was so passionate about Shakeology. So my call to action for you guys is to come up with your Shakeology story. Okay, what has it done for you? I know for me, it's not like this big transformation. There are things that I'm starting to notice, like, wait a minute, that hasn't happened in a while, or whatever, or noticing things on my skin. So my call to action for you is to come up with your Shakeology story that you're like, man, this happened to me. Even if you're allergic to it, you have a story. You tried it, you believe in it. Here's why you can't drink it, but here's why so many others are drinking it. But come up with your story. What has it done for you? Because I don't think that we really sit down and do that. Okay, we do it kind of our whole story, but take your Shakeology story and make it. And so that's my little call to action for you today. So now we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce my guest speaker. Make sure she's still on here. Yep, it's here. Some of you have watched a video that she had shared with us regarding how she builds her business on her like page. So this is kind of a step 2 of that, but I did want her to kind of cover what she's doing over there, as well as, you know, how she's going to move forward with this. So Tonya Lewis, and I'm going to give you a little story about how we met, because I think that this says a lot for what we call success partners. I was in some random Beachbody group because when I was a young coach, I tried to get into every Beachbody group I could possibly get into. Well, I didn't know whose team page it was, so I'm in a few team pages that I probably shouldn't be in. Anyways, long story short, the subject had come up years ago, and like success partners, or I think we were the same rank at the time, and we were kind of hitting the same wall. You know what, let's work together. So we connected then, back and forth text messages, and then life just kind of got in the way. We got busy, we're doing our own things. We finally met each other at leadership one year, and then we connected again, and in the last year, I swear, the two of us text each other multiple times a day. And it's not, you know, we call it success partners, but I know that a lot of people overthink success partners. I have like 1 million success partners, which makes my day so much fun, because I grow off the people that I'm connected with. And if I can give anything back to them, then more power to them, to me. You know, whatever you give out, you give back tenfold. And I'll tell you that that's been definitely Tonya and I's relationship. You know, she's given me a ton in the last year, and that's why I wanted her to speak on this call, because she has been a coach for a long time, like me. And she, we both struggle. We're not like the fast running coaches, and we're not, top 10, and we have struggles. But she found her niche in what she's doing, and I'm super excited for her to share with you guys because she's a freaking rock star in my book. Okay, so I'm going to find you here, my dear, and I'm going to spotlight you. Where are you? There you are. And I'm going to spotlight you. There you are. Yay. Here's Tonya, and you are unmuted. So, Miss Tonya, first tell us a little bit about your story, so that those that did not see the video before and have no idea who you are, share with us a little bit about your story, and then your amazing information that you want to hang out with the team. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. The 5-step system that some of you have seen already, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail with that. It has changed the game for me, so I'm really excited to share it. But just to tell you a little background, I've been a coach for about 5.5 years. It'll be 6 years in June. So like Anna said, I have not been like the fast running coach. I've been the slow and steady girl. I pretty much don't miss events. I've missed a summit here and there, but I am that girl that shows up at every event. And I was also that girl who just couldn't figure this out. I would sign up coaches, and, I would hope that they would do something with the business. But the problem was that I didn't really have a system. And that's key. That's the key word. If you're going to write down one thing this evening, it's system. Because that is what I have finally put together, and I see it working tremendously for my team. So I want to talk a little bit about leadership, because where I failed as a leader over all of these years, I've kind of failed my way to success is what I'd like to look at it more so in those terms rather than I've just failed as a leader. Because I don't think that I was necessarily failing. There was just things that needed to be tweaked. First of all, quit taking yourself so seriously. Really, that is a big deal to me, because there was little things like I wouldn't get on a video call with my team because I was afraid, what if my lighting wasn't right? What if my hair didn't look right? So little things like that where I was like, oh my gosh, get over it. This is, what? People are going to relate to you more if you are just yourself. And so I had to really dig deep and just figure out okay, it's not hard to just be yourself. Just put yourself out there and just don't be so serious. And another thing is that when something would go wrong, I wasn't sharing that. I was kind of hiding it. I don't want my team to know that I failed at this, so I'm not going to share it because I don't want them to think that I'm failing. I want them to think that I'm doing everything right. So wrong approach, you guys, because I'll give you an example of when I hosted my very first Super Saturday. I live in Spokane, Washington. So Spokane is not on the map. And I'm I'm the only coach that's putting one out here. I'm going to go ahead and, try to put together a Super Saturday. Well, I didn't really promote it. It was just last minute. I did it at a small gym, and guess how many people showed up? 0. I was so embarrassed. I was okay, this was a big fat fail. But I didn't tell anybody about it. I just pretended everything went fine. And, cause I was embarrassed. I didn't want people to know that I totally screwed up. But when I started sharing okay, you guys, things are going to happen. The thing is that some of my coaches weren't even trying because they were afraid to fail. And when I realized, okay, what they need to see is that I failed at this event. But that didn't stop me from doing it again. And now our last event, Spokane is still so hard to build, but our last event had about 50 people. That's a big jump, you guys, from 0. So there's that don't give up factor of, let your coaches know what works for you, what is working, you want to share. What is failing, you also want to share that because they need to have the big picture. And I think another piece is where, I always try to be that follow the leader. I took follow the leader to the wrong extent. It was kind of I'm the leader of this team and I hope you follow me and do what I do. And there was no duplication because I was always like, I'm the leader, let me be in the front. That was also the very, very wrong approach to be taking. It's let's go, let's do this together. I'm going to show you what I fail at. I'm going to show you what I succeed at. And I'm going to give you a system that you can follow. If you implement and you put these things into place, we build together. So our ranks change together. Our income changes together. We're not like, it's not me being the leader. So that's where on our little picture that Anna put together, it was reinvent yourself. Because for me, it was definitely, I needed to reinvent my leadership style because I was just trying to be that front, follow the leader type of girl. And that wasn't working. So when I took a step back and said, you guys, we're in this together. We are going to tribe up. We're going to make this happen. That's where I started seeing my coaches relate to me. They had more respect for me, which they should. If they're, if I'm trying to lead from the front, like everybody follow me, there wasn't really a lot of respect there. It was just kind of like, well, I guess we'll do what she says. And no, it's a totally different approach. So giving them the system and saying, here's, what you can do to follow it. It's up to you. If you want to implement it, you're going to see growth. If you don't implement it because you're a slower, slow and steady like I've been, I understand that. I totally get it. So people are going to build at their own pace. But as long as you give them a system to follow, it's there. They can do it when they want. So for those of you who have not seen the 5-step system, that is available. All of this is actually available on my website, which is just tonyalewis.com. And it's Tonya. There's no A, Tanya. Tonya, Lewis, Lewis.com. If you go there, it's all under Team CNDG training material. So you can see the PowerPoint that I put together for that. And basically just a little quick rundown. It goes into the 5-step system being running a free group, a paid group, recruiting, training, and then repeat. That's the system that I put together that I could easily show brand new coaches as they're coming in, like, here's what we do to build the business. Here are the steps. And that's what I'm going to break down for you tonight, is more so the training steps, because that's where people get confused, I think, is like, okay, I'm recruiting coaches, but now what do I do with them? So I'm going to show you what exactly I'm doing with these new coaches. But just a little stat here, I guess, like a statistic of what has happened since we've been implementing the 5-step system in running free challenges to get more eyeballs, which I'm, promoting my like page to get more people there. So then once a month doing a free challenge, once a month doing a paid challenge, recruiting before I even get to that paid challenge, because all of those coaches are coming in as co-hosts. So they're running the challenge with me, which I think is key, because then they're getting a first, hands-on approach to the business and how to run those groups. And then, of course, training them. So I'm going to go into more detail as far as what I'm doing with the training. But if you haven't seen the 5-step system, it's all laid out. So tonyalewis.com for that. So I'm going to actually screen share. I put together, this is another, quit taking yourself so seriously. I put together this little PowerPoint today just because this is how I'm a visual person. I need to see a PowerPoint and be able to take notes or do a screenshot. So I put this together. It's not very pretty because it was very quickly put together, but I'm going to go ahead and screen share for you. And let's see if I can find it. It should have been right on my screen. Hold on, I got to move this stuff over. Okay. All right, can you guys see that? Okay. Now I'm in my way. Hold on, I can't move my box. My little picture box here. I'm going to move this over. Oh, for the love. Okay.
We can see it just fine. Looks good.
Okay. Well, the problem was the camera was in the way, so I couldn't see it myself. So, okay. So again, we're just going to go over kind of like not necessarily all of the 5 steps. It's just the free, paid, recruit, train, and repeat. I want to go more into how I'm getting my coaches started. When they're coming in, this is the system I'm using, but how am I using it? How am I having them implement these steps? So first of all, when they come in, they are coming in as co-hosts. So, all of them, this was my last group. I had 9 co-hosts come in here. So basically they came in and I right away, some of them, let me give you kind of like a timeline. Some of them had an entire 30 days before the next challenge was starting. So in that 30 days, the only assignment I gave to them was to invite people to join our challenge, since they had a full month to do that. And I sent them my welcome new coach video, which tells them how to get through the Coach Training Academy. And I gave them that full month to get through the Coach Training Academy. Said, you can get this done in one day if you'd like. It just depends. If you're a slow person like myself, then it's going to take you longer. If you want to get through all the lessons all in one shot, go for it. But I don't like people to be overwhelmed. So I let people know I really want you to take this at your own pace. I want you to pause if you need to. I want you to go back to each lesson every day, whatever works for you the best. Okay, so asking people to invite their friends to the challenge, and I'm giving them a couple of invite scripts, like, first of all, put it on your Facebook page, like, this is what I'm doing. I just ordered, let's say, 21 Day Fix, because that's what we did in this group. I'm doing this challenge. I decided to become a coach, and I'm co-hosting this group. I would love to have a familiar face in the group. Is there any way that you would be able to support me and join this group? Not only are you going to lose a few pounds in the process, but you're coming in, you get to watch me as a brand new coach. So they're asking basically like, can you test this out with me? Will you support me in this process as a new coach? And boom, like all of these new coaches got like their mom or a cousin or somebody that they said, hey, can you support me? So, then I give them briefly what is going to happen when they invite these people. You're going to earn your money back. If you get, let's say they did a 140 pack, just invite 4, obviously invite more than 4 people, invite as many people as you can. But if you get 4 people to commit to the challenge, that gives you your 140 back in commission. Okay. If you only get 2 people, you're still making a commission when you're coming into this. But I let them know about Success Club. And this is seriously like a quick text that I'm sending to them saying, okay, by the way, I've already sent them their, the getting started video. And I say, by the way, I don't want to overwhelm you with this, but I asked you to invite some people. So I want to share with you a couple of things that are going to happen when you do invite people. You are going to earn points. It's a point system. It's not required, but it's a great way, a great goal to set you up for success in this business. So I just very briefly go over Success Club and how, if they get Success Club 5, they become a success starter. So 2 of these ladies in this group became success starters just from inviting their friends to do this. And of course, they earned a couple of commissions. Those, to me, you guys, those are like, they become lifers because they see commission right away. They earn the title success starter, which is really cool and fun. And then of course, you as the leader, you need to be plastering that everywhere because that recognition, I think, is really big. So, having them come in and do this kind of hands-on approach in the challenge is really, really key in getting them started. And then just giving them these baby steps, these first, do your CTA lessons, invite a few people, and hey, by the way, you'll earn these, X, Y, and Z if you get some people to commit to this. So here is, let me hit play on this, actually make it bigger. So this is kind of like the order of operations of when a new coach comes in. And I know some of you had questions when Anna posted today, like how is the best way to recruit these people? We can go over some of that at the end, and how Anna and I could even do like a little mock phone call if you want to. But so first thing, when they're coming in as new coaches, I am going in, I'm sending them my new coach video, which is a 3-minute video. It is so short. It just says, welcome to Team CNDG. I'm just going to go ahead and get you started with the Coach Training Academy. And it's a screen share process just like this. It's a Zoom call recording. And I literally just go through the back office and show them how to get into Coach Training Academy. And just start with this and have fun and don't take yourself too seriously. And we are going to move you into a 10-day new coach training with all of the other new coaches that came in and they're co-hosting as well. So then, of course, I move them into the 10-day new coach training, which is also available on my website. All the videos are there. So the thing is with bringing in new coaches is somebody might, like right now I have a girl who's going to co-host with me on March 9th. She's already started the 10-day training because she's self-motivated to do that. So I gave her the option. I said, we start our challenge on the 9th, and the next group training going through the 10 days together is on March 16th. If you don't want to wait that long because you're self-motivated, go ahead and go to my website and start going through all the videos. And so that's what she's doing right now. So some people will be self-motivated to do that. And other people will want to wait. So it's really important, I think, to ask them since everybody has different learning styles. Once they're done with the new coach training, they've gone through and they might still be in a co-host situation with you, depending on how long your challenges are. I keep mine to 21 days, even if it's, let's say, a 30-day program or like an 8-week program. I still like 21 days because I am keeping it within 1 month. I need to move on to something the following month. And because I'm bringing in, let's say, 10 new co-hosts to every single challenge, for each following month, I really have it structured to where, it takes 21 days to learn these new habits. As coaches, we're going to be with you through these first 21 days. And then it's not like you're just on your own. It's just that the posting in the group is going to stop. And we're still here to coach you through the rest of that program, but this group is going to kind of shut down. Okay. So once, we move on, then I don't run a Coach Basics group like on Facebook because I feel like Coach Basics to me, and this might just be my opinion, and you might want to still run Coach Basics in group settings on Facebook. When I did that before, I felt like, to me, it would be like opening up a group page to take people through the Coach Training Academy. And I feel like most people are self-motivated and they get the Coach Training Academy done. So Coach Basics and Emerald to Diamond are the next steps that I point them in that direction. And I tell them, I'm here. I want you to text me daily if you have questions. But this is a self-motivated program. I want you to go into your back office, same like you did with CTA, and go through those lessons. And then we'll tell you what to do next. So for me, that's kind of just the rundown of the system is, sending them to each of these trainings, and somebody might get through them very quickly. Others, it might take them a whole year to get through it. And that doesn't mean that the person that takes longer isn't as good of a coach. It just means they have a different learning style and maybe they're not ready to dive in. So I'll walk you through the 10-day training. So now, these assignments and the way that I have this structured is like putting a brand new coach into this. They might come out super overwhelmed. And I ask them, I got feedback on this. So some people are a little overwhelmed, like, my goodness, that's a lot of stuff to get done, even on day one. I have 5 assignments for you on day one, actually 6. I left one out. So 6 assignments on day one, even though they're quick, that might be overwhelming. So I make sure to talk to my coaches and say, listen, this training is basically what is going to set up your entire business. If you get through all of these 10 days and do the one assignment every single day, which are so simple, you will, at the end of the 10 days, have a fully functioning way to run your business. You'll know exactly what to do, and it's just a matter of you implementing it from there. Okay. So on day one, I want to make sure everybody has those CTA lessons done. So now for somebody who maybe came in, let's say yesterday, and I start this training today, they're not going to have CTA done. I'm going to give them as long as they need. It's just in there because I want them to know that it's important to get it done. I have them register on Platinum Presenters. I'm a Platinum Presenters girl. And because they offer, training calls and coaching opportunity webinars and stuff like that, I want them to register and have a member account. So it's one of the first things I have them do. Big thing, establish your success partner. Like Anna said, it's been huge because when you're building together, and especially a lot of these new coaches coming in, they're all brand new coaches. They're on the same level. I think it's really important that they partner up. So, this could be somebody who, if I'm doing a group and it's all in the group, like everybody paired up in the last group. We had like 90 people in the last group for new coaches, but some of them were older coaches that just needed a refresher. And so what was cool, side note, is that some of the older coaches that went through this training, maybe it was a little easier for them to do some of these assignments and not so overwhelming because they were older coaches, but they saw success in February that they have not seen in their entire 4 years of coaching. And I think Anna posted that picture in the group page today, sharing that. So that's so cool to see that the success that's coming from this. Okay, so success partner, important. Now, I tell them this is optional, that if you want to buy a domain through GoDaddy, the reason I like this is because I want to be able to send people to TonyaLewisFitness.com. So simple. I don't want to send someone to beachbodycoach.com/Tonya Lewis. So I tell my coaches it's completely 100% up to you. It's like $12 to buy a domain. It's super easy to link it over. This way you just have a name that's quick and easy to send out, that you're not, looking like beachbodycoach.com. I don't know. I don't think that looks very professional. So I offer this to them. I say it's not required. And then business cards, I send them to Vistaprint to get, free. You can get free cards through there. And I show them a picture of what mine looks like, because I think for me, like, my business card doesn't say Beachbody anything. It is a picture of me doing a handstand, and it's basically like health and wellness coach, TonyaLewis.com. On the back side of the card, it says, sign up for a free member account at TonyaLewisFitness.com. And they are separate. If you go to TonyaLewisFitness.com, it's going to take you straight to my Beachbody site. But I don't advertise Beachbody. I'm not branding Beachbody. I'm ultimately trying to brand myself. So I make that a point that I don't want Beachbody plastered all over their business cards. But I mean, it's not a big deal if you do have business cards already that has Beachbody. I just personally like to have a very clean, intriguing card that people will go to my website because they don't already know what it is. Okay. And then number 6, which I obviously left off of here, is to schedule reminders in your phone for all of our calls. And I give them 4 calls to schedule in. And I tell them, because that could be really overwhelming to come into the business as a brand new coach and have 4 nights a week that you're supposed to be on calls, right? Or 4 calls during the week at all. So the most important, I tell them, do National Wake Up Call. And if you can only get on 1 call for the entire week, it's National Wake Up Call. Please do not miss it. That is the one. Every Tuesday night, I have them schedule to send people to Platinum Presenters webinar, because it's every Tuesday night that they host a What is Coaching Opportunity webinar. And then Thursday night, we have a team call that Janelle Summers hosts. So I have them schedule that. And I just tell them, have it go off. I want a reminder. I want an alarm to go off 10 minutes before. So you remember to get on the call. Because if you're anything like me, I forget. I have to have a reminder on my phone that goes off a day before, an hour before, half an hour before. It's just, I think it helps. And then our team call, which is every 3rd Wednesday of each month, just once a month. So I have them do that. That's day 1. So, and then day 2, now these are all the videos that are on TonyaLewis.com, because they go into depth. So some of this might sound like, well, what is she having them set up a page and a cover photo? Basically, what I teach them in this 10-day training is how I network on Facebook. I show them exactly the things that I do, the steps that I take. So setting up your page and cover photo, I literally take them through the same type of Zoom training like this. I show them how I set up my page. I show them how I made my cover photo, which is with canva.com. So basically, if any of you have been through Chalene Johnson's Marketing Impact, the style and the way that she teaches is the way that I run my coaches through this training. And again, it's because this is how I learn the best. If somebody has something set out for me to, with very specific steps and assignments, I can pause it, get it done. And then by the time they're done with all 10 days, it's they have everything set up, everything's ready to go. And now they just have to implement it. And it's a matter of how often do they want to do it. So day 2, really simple, just setting up their page and cover photo. Day 3, networking. I talk to them about how I network now on Facebook compared to how I used to network. And I give them the option. I say, now, if you want to be a business builder, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't just not network because you're afraid that people are going to tell you that you're a stalker or whatever. Because now, and I show them specifically, my old way of networking was literally just from my profile page, I would go in and send what we called random messages. And so all of my new coaches in the past, I would have them make what I called a bucket list. And we would write down 5 things that we liked or that we wanted to do or see. And those are the sites on Facebook that we would go and start networking with people. So like my example in this day 3 video is Hawaii. I could just go to a Hawaii page and start sending messages, like 5 every day. Hey, I see that you're going to Hawaii, or I see that you were just recently in Hawaii. Where did you stay? I'm going there this summer, or whatever. And starting that relationship building process where it's tedious and you're hovering over little tiny pictures trying to find somebody that you think looks like you or your same age. And that is literally what I did for the first 4 years in my business, was just random messaging tons of people. And that's how my business was built, basically. So I share that with them because somebody brand new coming in is not necessarily going to go in and just right away, boom, start paying for likes to attract people to their page. But I show them how to do it, because if they're coming in and they see the bigger picture and they're willing to invest $5 a day or whatever to get some new likes, I share with them that is how I have built my business so much quicker in the last, let's say, year since I've been doing it. And that these people, you don't have to form them in the way that is having a random conversation and then leading into, oh, by the way, I do this for fitness or whatever. These people that are liking my page are liking it for a specific reason. It's a health and fitness page. And so it's very easy then when I do a call to action, that, for a free challenge, or that we're doing a 21-day challenge coming up, send me a private message if you want information. You still form them. You still want to have a relationship building process with them, but there's no secret to what you do. It's just flat out, are you interested in doing this challenge with us or not? Deadline is next week. So to me, it's a much easier process. So I give them the options because I just, I know that not everyone's going to be able to afford coming in and paying for likes. Day 4, I literally walk them through how to set up a group page, because some people don't know how to do that. So that's just the next step. I show them how to do this. And then I give them actual scripts. I basically show them a rundown of some of my true Facebook messages to people, inviting them to that challenge. And all of those scripts are actually available on the PowerPoint, in the 5-step system PowerPoint. So if you need those, that is available on my website as well. And then day 5, I break this down into such baby steps, you guys. But day 5 is, now that we've set up your challenge page, how are you going to run it? So I literally take them through and show them how I ran my last challenge, and then more scripts to show them how to convert those people that are in there, how to convert them to coaches before you even get to the paid challenge. And that's where you're asking them to be co-hosts. So you could invite everybody to your challenge and say, after this free challenge, we're moving on. We're doing a paid challenge where it's going to be 21 days. Here's the package that you get. If they say they're interested in that, then I go right in and say, well, there is the option to co-host. And that's what we'll go over more at the end, because that's 100% how I'm recruiting coaches, and a lot of them, by having them come in as co-hosts. Day 6 is the schedule. So I literally go over, I whip out my calendar and I show them that instead of being all over the place and not having a system and not knowing when you're going to run your next challenge, I ask them to schedule for at least 3 months out of when they're going to run their challenges. When's your next free challenge? When are you going to do your next paid challenge? And when are you going to train your next round of coaches? Because if they're writing it down, I'm going to train my coaches next month on this date, then they know that they have to sign up some coaches to get to that date. You know what I mean? So having them set their schedule, and I tell them and I show them that mine is done all year. I have challenges scheduled all the way through December, and new coach trainings, free challenges. Now, that might have to be tweaked. And I'll give you an example of February. I had a free challenge scheduled to run on the 9th. I had nobody interested in my free challenge. So I just bagged it. I said, okay, I'm not doing a free challenge. And I started promoting the heck out of our March 9th challenge. So I had like literally the whole month of February to just promote the heck out of, we're doing 21 Day Fix Extreme. Who's in, you know? So although I didn't get a ton of new eyeballs because I didn't run a free challenge, I had to tweak it because I wasn't going to just put 2 people into a free challenge. It's a waste of my time. So I'm not going to do that. So if you have to tweak it, that's cool. And the people that might have wanted to come in, what I do is say, okay, we're going to push this challenge out. However, here is my free ebook, because I do have that, you know, available on my website. Here's the free ebook. We're not going to be doing the actual challenge, but here's the content so you can at least go get your groceries and just get in touch if you have questions. So I'm still giving them the free ebook that they can go, you know, do the free challenge. That's what it would be about, is, you know, giving them that 7-day meal plan and stuff. So I'm not just like leaving them out, you know, and just saying, oh, just forget you wanted to do my free challenge, but there's only 2 of you. So I still take care of them. I just don't open up a group. So I just really focus heavily then on, okay, I have, you know, the rest of this month to get people interested in the next challenge, the 21 Day Fix Extreme. So when I'm talking to people, day 7, we go into forming prospects and closing them. If people tell me they're interested in the challenge, I basically go in with a no BS approach. I tell them, you have 2 options when coming into this challenge. You can, everyone, it's $140. Here's what you get. You can come in as a challenger and just post daily and just check in for accountability. And we, you know, I have a couple co-hosts that are coming into the group as well. And so we really just try to get you through the 21 days. And, you know, you can post as much as you want or as little as you want, whatever, but we just like that you check in every day. Or you have the option of coming in as a co-host. What I like about having a co-host come into this group is that you get to inspire the other people. You're still paying $140 to come in, so it's not going to cost you anymore. But a cool perk is that you get 25% off of anything else if you decide to order later on. And if you want to earn your $140 back, I can show you how to do that. So what do you think? Would you like to come in as a co-host or a participant? Almost like seriously, 95% of them are like, I want to do the co-host thing. Are you kidding me? So phone calls are huge. I've noticed when I'm asking these guys to get on a phone call. We'll go over more of that at the end, but I want to talk to you guys about day 8 and why I put the vital behaviors and personal development and goals at day 8, because this is where I feel like I kind of screwed up when I was first trying to train coaches. Is I would go, you know, hardcore on, you have to be a product of the product, you have to be inviting, you have to be doing your personal development, or you're not going to build your business. Okay, I was like, these are the vital behaviors. If you're not doing these, you're not going to build. And what I was finding, like over and over, was people weren't doing the vital behaviors because they didn't know how. It was like, yeah, sure, they know how to work out, but they weren't motivated because they weren't running challenge groups and they didn't have people to motivate them. They weren't doing their personal development because they didn't think that piece was important, and they didn't know how to set their goals. So leading up all the way to first week, getting them set up with a like page and how to run it and how to network with people, you know, how to run an ad. I mean, I go over all of that in those videos. Is here's how you do it. You can implement it if you want to, or you can network the old-fashioned way. By the time we get to day 8, they have this all set up. They know exactly what they have to do. So I then go into, now you guys, you have no trouble inviting people because you know exactly how to run a challenge. We went over that in like day 4. So you know exactly how to run the challenge. You already have your group set up. You already have your schedule done on when you're going to run your next challenge. So do you think now you're going to have trouble inviting people? You have the scripts on how to invite people. So that's why I put day 8 where I did. That's why I put those topics on day 8, because I just felt like getting to that point where if you were to just say to your new coach, let's set an emerald goal date for you, which is what I used to do, where I'd be like, okay, 2 coaches under you is going to make you emerald. But they didn't have any of the other stuff set up. So it was really difficult. Like, well, how do I invite? How do I run a challenge? Like all of that stuff. So putting it all first, these are now like my new coaches and some of the old coaches that maybe were just in a rut. They are now not skipping the vital behaviors. They're doing their personal development. And since they have their schedule all written out, they have clear goals. They know that they have deadlines. They're setting deadlines for themselves when they're doing this. On day 9, I literally show them how I made my video, like my welcome coach video, which is 3 minutes long or so. And it, again, just says, welcome to the team. Here's how you get started. You're going to start with Coach Training Academy. So I give them the option that they can use my video to send to new coaches, because it is kind of it says, I'm either your upline sponsor or one of our team members sent you this video to get you started. So if they're not comfortable making a video right away, I let them know, please let them, send them my video and just get them started like that. But I tell them exactly how to make it. I show them how to use Zoom, how to do screen sharing and all that stuff. So it's very like a hands-on, okay, let's do this. This is your assignment today, is to make a video. It's a mock video. I want you to post that in the group. And then day 10, we just close out with, that you follow the system. You basically just give them the same system to follow. When you sign them up, you send them the video, whether it's your own or it's mine. You get them started in the 10-day training. Just ask them how they'd like to do it, whether it be in a group or if they can just go to my website and start going through the videos if they're self-motivated. And then from there, in the meantime, they're doing a challenge. They're co-hosting. So they're getting that hands-on when they're doing that. And then just making sure that you stay kind of on track with them. And when they're done, say, okay, now I want you to go through Coach Basics. And then, of course, Emerald to Diamond once they hit Emerald, which some of these new coaches, they're signing people up really quickly because of having all of this stuff in place. So pretty cool to see that happening. So just a couple of things for like what this training has done so far. We kind of went over this in the beginning, but, having $140 back in your bank account really quickly as a new coach is huge. They see those commissions come in, and I always tell my coaches, like, you guys don't come into this business like thinking this is about the money, because if you're just thinking, when am I going to make money? When am I going to make money? You're not going to. So the thing is that if you just invite people and you really truly want them to do this program with us, that 140 will show up. Like your package that you just bought, you're going to get paid back for it. It'll show up if you just really truly have that mindset, like just invite people and have fun, and don't be like shady about it. Just invite people to join. But then having the titles that they're earning right away, the success starter titles, and earning that call from Carl, they're coming in, they're confident, you guys. They're coming into this like, I can do this. Like all of this stuff's already set up for me. I can totally do this. And really cool to see some of the older coaches implementing the system and, hitting the highest Success Club numbers that they've ever had. So pretty cool. And then I think this is the last slide. This was a big deal when I did this for my team. This is just a shot of what our cover photo looks like for our team page. One day I just did a post, because now it used to be just my little logo that you see here with the ball with the diamond on it, and it said the Coachery Network Diamond Group. And so of course it was about me, right? It was about me. It was my team. Like, here's my logo. And I wanted to change that, because I wanted people to see that this is not about me. This is about us building together. And so I just put it out there. I said, hey, I don't know any of your team names. Like, I had never asked. And when I posted it, and as you see, there's like a ton. And I update it every single month, once a month, because when I'm bringing in a bunch of new coaches, I think it's on day 9. I'm pretty sure it's day 9 when I have them do their video, their welcome video. I tell them that on day 9, I want them to establish a team name. So I have them do that and post it in the group so I can update our screen here. But it's so much fun to put all these guys in here and every, once a month update it. And then of course the number, it keeps growing. It's so much fun to see the number of downline coaches just continue to grow. And then seeing the names that it's meaningful. They have these meaningful names that they're putting together, that stuff that, is encompassing like who they are as a coach. So it's really neat to see. So I would encourage you guys to just do a post in your group pages and just ask people what their team name is. And if they don't have one, make that like your assignment for the week is, you guys, I really want you to establish a team name, because you are a leader. Once you have one coach on your team, you're a leader and you guys are going to build together. So just have a fun team name and, putting it together like this so everybody can see like this huge tribe that we've built is pretty amazing. So anyways, that is the end of the slides. So I'll go ahead and stop the share. There we are. So, what you got for me, Anna? Do you have questions?
I do. Okay, so I wanted you on here selfishly because I wanted to see you lay it all out. I know that you've laid it out for me before, but so I just, it was like my call. No. So I have questions for you because I am channeling my team. Okay, so what does this mean for us? Wait, do we have to change everything? Do we have to, what do I need to do? So as we always say, and you especially said this just the other day, you don't fit into a mold. You do your own thing, even though it's this, I can't say it's the same thing as everybody else, but it's the same thing as everybody. You do the 3 vital behaviors, you do coach basics, you do training, you do challenge groups, so we all are doing the same thing. You just said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do because I'm going to put my own flair on it. So I don't want my team to go, we need to change everything. But what I love, because there are a lot of interweaving things that you have said that we can implement on our team. Mm-hmm. Using the system that we use, because trust me, I know that once you have a system, it's heavenly.
It is
because it's all about system. Whether you need to create, you've been a leader for a long time, so you've created this system so that other new coaches can use. And I love the fact that you're focusing on the tribe, because that is exactly what our team is. It's a tribe. I love your team name idea, because I think a lot of the concern with, and because we've been around a long time, that do we have a team name? If one of our coaches has another team name, does that mean they're going to come off the team page and build this whole thing and then stop using our system? Well, you're just proof that doesn't occur. You guys work together, whether it's like 2 people, you're in a group chat. Yeah, I'm a team, even though I'm still connected with the coachery network. We are working together. So I love that, because, and I've always said that too. Like, it's not my show. Like, this is your show, guys. It's not my show. So I love that you pointed that out as well. The schedule, and it's so nice to hear somebody else say this, because the schedule is key, and I talk about this all the time. We've got 30 days, 60, everybody always looks at it, because I'm always looking at my calendar. I think that that's so important that you set that up day one. You're like, I have a schedule from here now until December. I think where new coaches, because a lot of the coaches on this call are new coaches, emerald coaches, a couple diamond coaches on here that do plug into the system, but I don't know if they necessarily follow the schedule. And I think that following the schedule is scary for people, because that means that they're setting themselves, they're setting their schedule. That means they have to commit to it.
Right.
But you laid it out. It makes life so much easier. You run a free group, a paid group, and you invite to coaching. So I think the schedule piece is just something that I wanted to reinforce as far as our team goes, how important it is. And I want to encourage everybody to sit down with their calendar and plug in there. And so my question to you actually is, can you give me your schedule, like your monthly schedule? You run a free group, a paid group, and your 10-day coach training. What day of what week of the month is your system?
So generally, and now this can be tweaked, but it's the first Monday of each month that we're starting the 21-day paid challenge. So we have the full month before to really recruit for that. in the way of, we're doing a free challenge before in that month. And then leading up to, we put kind of that deadline on it. So now I think what we did on this one, if I'm looking at my calendar, is I tweaked it because I had planned to do a challenge starting tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow is the first Monday. I pushed it out because I wanted to give the deadline of February 28th for people to order. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do it on March 9th. So, I mean, I tweaked it. I just had to push it out 1 week so people could get more orders. Right. So about March 9th, though, I will start advertising for my next free challenge. And I might even tweak that. I have a 7-day meal plan. It doesn't mean I have to do a 7-day challenge all the time, because that's a lot. To run a 7-day challenge every single month is a lot of work. So you can say 3 days. It's more intriguing to people even. And then give them the same 7-day meal plan, but say, pick your 3 favorite recipes in this book. And that's what you need to shop for. And then it's cheaper for them too, because they're not buying a whole week's worth of groceries. So I might start advertising for that on March 9th and then do that on March 16th. So I have that week where I'm gaining a ton of new eyeballs because I'm putting out that I have this free challenge opening up. And then I can recruit and get them into my April challenge, the paid challenge, as co-hosts. And I have just the last 2 weeks basically of March to do that, which I like because I'm putting a sense of urgency on it and saying, you have to order by such and such deadline if you want to be in this next group. Right. But then another cool thing is that, there's the money objection where people say, well, I really want to be a co-host, but I can't afford to do this right now. So I already have it scheduled. Since I already have my April challenge scheduled out and then May, I can say, okay, well, cool. Here, if you can't afford this in March, would you like me to save you a spot in my May challenge, which means that you'd have to just order in April sometime. Is that doable? And that way I'm not just leaving them like, okay, whatever, you can't afford it. Mm-hmm. I'm scheduling them saying, can I follow up with you in April and get you signed up? And most of them say yes. So like right now I have 6 people who are verbally committed to signing up as coaches in the month of March so they can do my April challenge.
Right. So I think what you said too, I think is important because you have it laid out. So let's just say you have your 12 months laid out. You've got your free group your paid group the first week of the month. You've got your free group the second week of the month, and your and your paid group the first week of the month the following month. So you have that template, but being flexible because like you said, you got 2 people ready for your free group. I'm not going to run a free group. It happens all the time. My 30-day, 60-day calendar, and those that were in my cup team know this, that I pushed back my paid group a week because I didn't have enough people. But it doesn't mean that I didn't put it on my calendar because I was too afraid that what if I didn't have enough people? If you have that scheduled out, like you said, it was perfect. I love that. In fact, I'm going to start using that as well. It's like, well, if you can't do it now, then April, let's put you on the list for April. And then what that does is that makes it a super easy follow-up in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Just check in, want to make sure I have that spot left open for you in 3 weeks. Okay, are you ready? That's an easy, simple follow-up. But it all starts with the schedule. Because if you don't have the schedule, then you're flying by the seat of your pants. And trust me, we've all done that. I've done that.
That's what I've always done.
Right. And it just makes life easier. And so what? Be flexible. If you don't have enough people, then you don't have enough people. So the other thing too, with the co-host, and I'm going to share the link again with the call that you did, your 5-step call that you did on your free group, your paid group, and talking about more into detail about how you do it on your like page and your co-host. I think that for our team, we can utilize the same thing. I love that you say you give 2 options. Mm-hmm. That doesn't change. We still run, all of us run groups, right? Or we run groups together with other people, or we run a team group. Giving somebody 2 options, do you want to do it as a challenger or do you want to do it with me? It's such an easy way to say, do you want to be a coach without saying being a coach? I mean, that's like one of those like, duh, So I think that anybody on this team, no matter whether we're all doing these groups as a team or not, can utilize that as well, because why wouldn't you want to co-host, even if you were running your own group, right? The question I had too for you, I wrote so many notes, was having, talking about, okay, so you have your, let's just say you have your free group people that you've had a conversation with, that they want to do your 21-day group and be a co-host. So they move into this system, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go through the process. They're a co-host in your group. And then what happens next? Do they run it again with you as a co-host, or you kick them out and say, next month, you've got your schedule already laid out because of the system. So you're running your group with your people. I'm here to support you. Is that how you do that?
No, I ask them how they feel after having gone through that first challenge, and if they feel like they need to go through another one. And some of them have said, I'm good. I'm ready to fly on my own, and thank you. And I'm going to move on and try to do it on my own. I have 2 coaches that co-hosted last month that maybe weren't as engaged because of life. And they feel like they missed out, and they want to do this next one with me. Of course, I'll let them do that. So I give them an option. I'll ask all of the brand new people, how do you feel? Do you feel like you need to co-host again, or are you ready to run your own? And I just give them the option and just bring them in. And I'm still going to showcase them just as if they were a brand new coach, like I'm showcasing all of the brand new people. It's not like I'm going to just be like, here, you're just going to be a fly on the wall. I definitely want them to participate and come in as a co-host again, even though they signed up 2 months ago, let's say. They definitely have that option.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. That definitely answered my question there. And then, I know that the concern that we've always had, and that we have a similar system in that we run a 10-day new coach training, which is ultimately a 10-day training to run a free group, to get their feet wet. Like you said, you have them get the like page up, and they're already doing stuff before they realize that they're doing stuff.
Right.
So in essence, we're doing a very similar thing with running a free group, getting their feet wet without them realizing that they're getting their feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
So in the old days, with you have them go through the Coach Training Academy. We do not. And I think that where and again, I haven't done that in forever, because people didn't do it because it was so time consuming. But what you're seeing is that people are going through it at their own pace, right?
Yeah, they are. All of them have gone through. You said
that's how you started. You were like, here, get all this training done. But you did it.
Yes. But now when I used to, what's different is, I guess, because I didn't have anything to move them into, I didn't have a system. It was just, I want you to do Coach Training Academy, but then I was terrible at following up. Mm-hmm. It was my fault, so that's where people wouldn't get it done. And then they felt like, well, my coach isn't helping me, even though I was putting other trainings and stuff out there. It was never a systematic way of training new people.
Right.
And so I feel like when I put my system together, it was like, this is so simple that I can take, let's say, since I put it together, 8 coaches signed up in January, 7 coaches in February. So my goal being 10 coaches a month to do co-hosting. If you set that goal for yourself of how many coaches can you handle, let's say, how many can you handle to train every month? That is where I kind of set that goal for myself, is I can take 10 new people through a training that it's already laid out. It was time consuming to put the training together. Now that it's there and I have it laid out to where I can take a group of 10 people through it, that's where it's like no brainer. So yes, please do the Coach Training Academy first. And then I'm going to move you into this system that's proven to work for people. Is this a good way for you to learn? I'm going to ask everybody, is this a good way for you to learn? Are you having trouble with Coach Training Academy? Do you need help with that? Because I'll help you with it. but I want you to get through it. So, when I did this last group, I said, I don't want to see like the certificate for Coach Training Academy. But kind of a fun thing. I said, it's kind of a fun thing if you just post it in here to kind of verify that you did it, but it's more of a congratulations that you got through it, your first step in training. Right. So, we couldn't find it though. We couldn't find the certificate.
I know it's hard. It's totally hard to find. Okay.
Yeah.
One more question for you. Let's say, because you have such a big organization and you had a lot of people who were, I'm guessing, old emeralds, old diamonds that weren't really doing anything, that you plugged into the system, right? Mm-hmm. So now that they've gone through the system and now that they're hitting Success Club, so they are in essence a leader themselves because they have a team. Mm-hmm. What is their next step? And I'm asking this actually because my team knows that I think 3 steps ahead, because I'm watching the people who are posting in the chat because I know where their mind is going. So because you have this system that they plugged into and that they've been successful at, do they need to create their own system using what you just had, or are you having them plug into yours but just changing the welcome video?
Well,
what are you telling them?
In day 10, ultimately, I want you to duplicate what I've done. So I tell them, obviously, if you're brand new and you're watching these 10 videos that obviously were very time consuming for me, it might scare you as a new coach thinking, I have to duplicate this? No, not going to do it. And then they're done, right? Because they think I can't do this. So I make it very clear that it's available for them to use my 10 videos to train their new coaches, but that eventually, because they are leading their own team, they will want to put this same system to use for their coaches, but with their face in the video. So use it, but tweak it to fit your personality. If you don't like Zoom, use Google Hangout. I gave them a ton of different options, but said bottom line is, if this all freaks you out right now, just like take a breather and use my stuff. It's here for that reason. So use it as long as you need it. Yeah. And then obviously as, things change, the videos might change on my end, and we just kind of take that as it comes. But
yeah, no, yeah. I love that because it does, you're still empowering them to take a step up. I mean, we all did it. We all had to create our own training, so we all did step out and create our training based on the feedback of what was going on. And so all of that work that you put in was very well thought out. So duplicating it, even though it's overwhelming because yours is on your website, which looks amazing, that part of it is scary, but right. Just doing the videos and putting their own flair on it is empowering them to take that next step of leadership.
Right.
And that is where we become really successful in this business. So I love that you brought them in and you are empowering them to take that next step and duplicate what I did, put your own flair on it,
right,
and move forward. So I just had to, because I know that I have a lot of coaches that are kind of in that category where they have a team and they are using my system, and they just, taking that next step is hard because I don't know if I've ever said, go duplicate, you know? And so I love that you share that because I think that sometimes we forget. I'm human. Okay. So let me see if there's any other question. Michael is asking, what is the key to retention after they co-host?
Okay, so this I think is really important because when I said phone calls are like really important. So let's step back a little bit and just say, like, a lot of the time what I'll do is I'll put a call to action on my page, like my like page, that says co-host opportunity, phone interview is required. Send me a private message to schedule your time. I may have never spoken to this person. They don't know anything about Beachbody. So that's scary, right? Talking to someone who has no clue about Beachbody. So when I do a phone call, just to give you a quick rundown, I ask them, do you have 10 or 15 minutes? Is 4:30 a good time? Whatever. I very specifically ask about a time. And can I call you at this time? What's a good number? When I call them, I form them right from the get-go really quickly. I just say, so tell me about yourself. First of all, I say, I like to do a quick call like this because I want you to see I'm a real person. It's hard for us sometimes to get caught up in the hiding behind Facebook, and you might see my videos and you see my food that I post and all that stuff, but I want you to hear my voice and I want to hear your voice. I want to see that you're a real person. I want you to see I'm a real person. So thank you for getting on the phone with me. And, so tell me about yourself. Do you have children? Do you work right now? And I go over those things really quickly. And then I say, okay, well, let me tell you about what we do and what this co-hosting opportunity is about. Are you familiar with Beachbody? Some of them, yes, we've already discussed that maybe in previous messages, but I'm talking, let's say this is someone I've never spoken to, and it was a random, do you have time for a phone interview? Do you know anything about Beachbody? Most people say yes, but I did have one co-host come in and she said no, she'd never heard of Beachbody. She'd heard of P90X. So I'm like, okay, well that, because then I asked, have you heard of P90X, TurboFire, any of this stuff? Oh yeah, I think I've heard of those programs. I said, okay, so what we do as coaches is just help people to get through these programs. We run these groups online so we can help everybody all over the country and in Canada. And so the reason I like to have a co-host come into this challenge with me is so they get to see your story. And then I'll ask them if I haven't already, do you have a weight loss story? Have you lost weight? Do you need to lose weight? Like, what does that look like for you? So you're asking them that piece. And then you can go right into like, oh my gosh, no brainer for you to join this as a co-host, because what they get is they get to hear your story. You get to inspire them. It's going to be empowering for you when they're saying, thank you for sharing and being vulnerable and opening up like this. So you telling them and explaining to them what the co-hosting option is about is that it's about showcasing them and, motivating themselves to get through the program, even more so than if they were just a participant, because they're telling the other people like, you can do this. And then I closed right then and there with saying, so what do you think? Would you rather do this just as a challenger, or do you want to come in as a co-host? And most of them say, I would love to do the co-hosting thing. And let me even backtrack one little more. I tell them right away, like, okay, so everyone in this challenge has paid $140 to join us, depending on what package you're telling them that they need. I always go with the sale package. I want them to get in as cheap as possible. So I always say, everyone in this group, 21-day fix, we're doing they've paid $140 to get in. They get the program, they get Shakeology, which, have you ever tried that before? I've used it every day for almost 6 years. I always make sure to say that, because that's credibility. If someone has used Shakeology every day for 5.5, 6 years, their ears are going to perk up. Like, why is she using this every day for 5 years? So I always make sure I tell them, and if you'll totally love it. Now, the business building part is optional. Now, if this is someone who knows nothing about Beachbody, they might be scared about having the business building part of it. So I tell them, listen, if you want to learn how to make money like I have in this business and I was able to quit my job, I will show you exactly what to do. I have a system in place that basically you can implement it if you want, but it's not required. If you want to be a business building coach, all I ask is that you're on Shakeology Home Direct, because you have to be a product of the product. If you come in as a coach and you don't want to business build, you don't have to continue on Shakeology Home Direct if you don't want to, but you'll probably want to because you're going to love it. So your ongoing cost would only be $15.95 per month. And should you choose to business build later, then all you have to do is get back on Shakeology. Okay, does that sound good? All right, cool. Let's walk you through sign up. And they are signing up. Now, the retention out of all the coaches that signed up in January for my February challenge, I had one person cancel I had 9 in there. So one person canceled. And it was simply just because she couldn't afford Shakeology. And we'd already gone over all that stuff, and like, you don't have to stay on it. But she just decided it wasn't for her. And you're going to get that. But everyone else that co-hosted is still active on Shakeology. They've gone through the 10-day training. They're hitting Success Starter. Like, so far, it's been awesome. So I have high hopes. I'm optimistic that as we continue to implement the system, it's pretty new. It's pretty new to me. It's something I just decided for this year, like, okay, I'm putting this system in place and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I love it. And it blows my mind, because I swear to God, every time you text me, you're like, okay, I don't have any coaches this month. And then the next day you're like, I have 8 coaches. And I'm like, so this is, I want to share that too, because I know that we all compare ourselves. Trust me, we do, right?
Yeah.
So I have to fight my own demons and like, you know better than that. What are you comparing yourself for? You're focusing on something else right now. So stop, So I'm telling everybody else, like, when you set your mind to something, just freaking do it and you will surprise yourself. Just like you just went all in and you're like, dang, this is working. All that hard work I put in, now it's like it all came into play. So I have no doubt that your retention will continue because you set the stage ahead of time. You basically say, here's what it's going to be like, and then if you want to continue, then that's fine. Do, and I'll put you in the system. If you don't, no problem. So right there, you're setting the expectation on what's going to happen following these 21 days.
Exactly.
So,
and I don't sugarcoat when I'm on the phone with them. I straight up tell them, like, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. This business is not easy to build. It's going to take you for a loop-de-ride. But if you see the bigger picture and you take the system that I give you and you implement it and you're consistent with it, you'll see growth, whether you want to or not. You're going to see growth if you are working the system. So
yeah, I love that because that brought me to another thing, and then we'll end this because we are going long. And I want to respect everybody's time, including yours. You texted me the other day and you said, being a hard ass is actually working. And is that what you're saying? Where you're saying, it's not easy, but you got to put work into it. Is that what you are? What the difference is?
Yes, I mean, I'm just making sure people know right up front, like, don't you dare come into this business thinking that you're going to get rich quick, because it's not going to happen. And don't you dare come into this business seeing dollar signs and thinking, well, I see that person made $1 million in this business, and I see so-and-so is doing really well. Because if that's your mindset, you're never going to make a dime. So, it's one of those things where, it's a little bit of tough love, but I think that text I sent you was more so along the lines of when I'm talking to people about joining the 21-day challenge and they're challengers and they're telling me they can't afford it. And I'm like, but you can't afford not to do this. You said you wanted to lose 50 pounds. Why are you holding yourself back from doing this? It's you. Like, it was a post, something about, you say you can't afford this, but you just went to Starbucks this morning. You hit McDonald's last night. You just spent $230. I put it over this yearly thing. Like, you just spent $235 over the year. You've gained 10 pounds and you're questioning why you gained 10 pounds and why, I'm like, this is only expensive if that's your mindset. Like, if you want to make these changes, you'll make it happen. And that tough love approach just seemed to be like, I was getting more people saying, okay, you spoke to me today with that post. How do I sign up? Yeah. So. Okay. Awesome. I'm glad that you shared that. Okay. So I appreciate you hopping on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put together in an Evernote document for everybody, Tonya's first video, if you haven't seen it, talking about the beginning of this process. And then this video, obviously this team call will be up on the playlist. And then any PDF, if you have that, that wonderful, awesome PowerPoint that you just did, you'll share that and I can put that in that Evernote doc, and then I'll share that with you so that you have it as well to share with your team. But I appreciate you doing this on your Sunday night, my dear. And I appreciate everybody hopping on. Okay, get on your cameras right now. Heather had to jump off and so that we can get a screenshot. Friends, I see some of you, no cameras. All right, you're going to lose out. Okay. Ready? Okay, hold on. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Tonya. Thanks, you guys.